and well those who have given us this task. May our efforts be blessed with insight, guided by understanding and wisdom. We seek to serve with respect for all. May our personal faith give us strength to act honestly and well in all matters before us. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, welcome everyone. Glad to see you here for tonight's meeting. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Lingo, Mr. Parsons.
Here.
Mr. Redding.
Here.
Mrs. Dosa.
Here.
Here. Mr. George.
Here.
Mr. Young.
Here.
Ms. Rissel.
Okay, Ms. Lingo is absent for tonight. She called me and she's not feeling well. I would ask that someone from council excuse her from a meeting.
I'll make a motion to excuse Mrs. Lingo.
Okay, Mr. George has made a motion to excuse Denise.
Second.
Mr. Redding has seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. You have before you for correspondence the police chief's report. Take a good look at that. Probably go over it tonight, I guess. Yes, you have the minutes before you also of the November 4th, 2025 council meeting. Are there anybody who has any corrections that they've seen on these minutes? Nobody? Then I would ask for a motion to accept the minutes as printed.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as printed.
Mr. Young has made a motion to adopt. Ms. Rissel has seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. October 2025 police report. You want to go over that now, or?
No.
That's actually.
Later.
Yeah, let's do it later. Correspondence, I thought I'd done that. Okay. Anybody have any correspondence? Okay. Guest. We have a guest here tonight from the Independent Energy Consultants for our natural gas aggregation. Come on up to the microphone if you would, sir, and let us have it.
Yes, nice to meet you, CEO again. Eric Burns, down here a little while ago, talking about the electric program. Your natural gas program is coming to the end of its term. So I was in here talking to Scott last week about the offers we received to continue the program in April. Long story short, at the end of that discussion, the recommendation was to continue with your current supplier, Direct Energy, for a new 24-month term. You're ending a 24-month term right now. Pricing is basically right where it was for your current term, so you're at a rate of $5.94. Some people rate it as 59.4 cents per CCF. Pricing is really right in that same $5.90 level. With the cold snap we had a couple days ago, we did see a little spike in the market that pushed us closer to the $6 mark, but we're hopeful that that's not really the start of winter. We'll have a little bit of a pullback, and we'll be able to set a rate in line with the current rate right now. So really not much changing with the status quo of the program. Recommendation, continue with your current supplier at a rate that is likely to be substantially the same as your current program rate for another 2 years. I'm happy to answer any questions about that. I don't know. I think Scott distributed some. We had some talking points and all that. Hopefully, if you've had a chance to look at any of that, happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay. Council, anybody have questions?
Do you know what the NYMEX is today for the 24 and 36?
So it's up a little bit today. It's, for a 24-month, it should be at like $5.96, and I believe $5.97.
That's
for
with all the
36.
adders. I was just talking about the NYMEX gas price.
Oh, the NYMEX gas price, you would back the adder out of that, so whatever
Probably
wholesale
about
gas cost.
420 or 430.
yeah, yes. So if you back the retail adder out of $1.50, some cents, you're right at the, probably about probably 29 for a 24-month term, and, for a little bit above that for a 36-month term.
Just a little bit above what it was
Yes.
at October.
Yeah, so we had a little spike the kind of day we met with you, Scott. That cold snap we had, snow, things have kind of come down from that a little bit. Yesterday was a nice down day in the market, so.
What, the prices that, the rates that we had on October 28th, we had for 24 months was 5.821. For 36 months was 5.807. You think 2 years from now, the prices are going to be lower?
That's, the crystal ball
Yeah, I
question. There are, market forces, that can, push things up. We have continued exports of natural gas that, continue to grow. We have export facilities that continue to construct them to send gas overseas to Europe, Asia, South America, where they pay quite considerably more than we do for gas in the United States. That, is a kind of demand for natural gas, so in supply demand, that wins out in that equation. We have increasing, production, drilling areas reopened to, producers. That's a winner on the supply side of the equation. Increased electric demand. Natural gas is used to produce a lot of electricity nowadays. It's our preferred feedstock. That's a winner on the, demand side of the equation. Real kind of risk there is, going out beyond 2 years. I think that's, a little bit of an overcommitment. Your buying ability here as a city, with the aggregation is that it produces, favorable rates, competitive with other markets that offers out there, has good terms and conditions, none of those gotchas. So regardless of what market situation you're in, it's gonna produce a, good, fair offer in that condition. So coming back to you 2 years from now, if we were up, it would produce a new rate that's, better, in that situation. If things were down 2 years from now and you had committed to a 4-year rate, well, you've committed your buying ability. And while residents have the ability to always, leave the programs free of charge, a lot of people just simply aren't interested in doing that. So it is a balancing act of overcommitting your buying ability with trying to predict the future and say, well, things are only going up from here, so let's lock in as long as we can. And we think the 24-month does that.
Yeah, I realize that 24 months ago, we were 10 cents higher. But I think if I had this to go with today to pick, personally, I would go with the 36 months, which is 1 or 2, 1 or 2 cents less than the 24 month, but you're locking in for 36 months. That would be my opinion.
Yeah, it's, your program, whatever, feels best for you. Our position is simply to inform,
Yeah.
Advise, recommend.
I understand.
And everything, pricing is right on top of each other for all those terms. So it doesn't make, a significant difference, one way or another as far as, the rate that would go out in the spring.
Today, it doesn't make much difference. 2 years from now,
It might, yes.
could be much lower, could be much higher.
Yes.
Question
Council,
on the retail adder. What's the cause for the fluctuation in the retail adder?
Sure. So that is where a supplier captures their cost to turn a wholesale product, gas that comes out of the ground somewhere, in northeast, part of the country here, and move it to Mount Healthy, Ohio. So that is where they capture all their costs for like pipeline capacity. They have to pay to move their gas along pipelines. There's losses along pipelines. There's little leaks. You have to pull off gas to fuel compressors to keep the system pressure up,
Right.
keep the gas moving. There's overhead for their staff, keep their lights on, keep their staff paid. The reason for the fluctuation in those adders if you looked at the trend there, they increase over time. That's basically them saying, hey, we expect our costs to serve to increase over time. Those transportation costs on the pipelines generally just tick up over time. Employees want pay raises and stuff like that. So that's, why you see that kind of upward trend in the retail adder.
Okay.
They expect their cost to serve to go up over time.
Is the retail adder locked for 3 years then, too?
So
If
that's
we decide 3 years or 2 years, or?
Yeah, so that's what you do with these formulas here.
Yes.
You agree to a pricing formula, and then, so you're not beholden to necessarily setting a rate tonight of your council meeting and whatever the market
Right,
happens to
yes.
be doing that day. You agree to a formula that has this retail adder, and then we, coordinate with Scott usually, to trigger that formula to set the final retail rate that residents see on their bills for, 2-3 years, whatever it is.
Okay.
Does that make?
Yep,
that kind of-
makes perfect sense, yep.
Okay.
Do you have an explanation why the adder goes down between 18 months and 36 months?
That's between 18 and 24, you mean? That is a function of that odd lot, 18 months. You pick up different seasonal months in there. So you pick up extra winter, or that would be extra summer months, I believe. You're going from an 18 to a 24 month, less demand in those months.
Okay, so it goes 12, 24, 36, up, at the 18, it's just an anomaly that it's higher.
Yeah, because it's not a whole year. You pick up different seasonal months in it. Yeah.
I understand.
Okay.
Anybody else, council? Question for Mr. Burns.
Could you go through the timeline? I know the legislation says the agreement would start April 1st, but there's kind of timelines on when you'd want the contract signed.
Yes. So ideally, we would have a contract signed, if not tonight, if you don't, grant, emergency authorization or whatever approval, at, one of the upcoming meetings before year end. To support April gas flow, there are a couple months worth of work that we need to do. We need to order customer lists from Duke, map those to make sure you don't accidentally send letters into neighboring communities. Have to draft letters, make sure we got everything right, your logo and all that stuff. Get those docketed with the PUCO 10 days in advance of mailing. Those letters go out kind of in February, rolls over to March. People have their 21-day opt-out period. People who don't opt out, get scooped up in the program. Those enrollments for people, joining the program, continuing the program, have to get into the utility. Duke is, I believe, it's 12 days, I believe, in front of their meter read date for April gas flow. So we have to have all that kind of rolling a couple months in advance to support April gas flow. And using a, NYMEX formula to, watch the market and trigger a, fixed rate. If you, were to delay further into the future, no one can predict what the market does, but, generally as you get further into the winter, your volatility risk rises. You see more cold snaps. Speculative traders, like to move into the market during the winter and, just move things as, you get weather forecasts come out there. So, our ability to act, and strike a rate, isn't there until a contract is in place. So, having a contract in place sooner rather than later, affords you that opportunity to, watch the market and act when the time is right.
Anybody else, council?
One
Questions?
more. Is it U.S. weather that is the only impact, or how much does the European winter
So,
play on it? I know we're constrained because we got to turn this stuff into liquid natural gas, and I know those plants aren't built out yet, but
right. So, yeah, it's hard to point at day-to-day, long-range weather forecasts for European markets don't have the impact that U.S. weather forecasts do. We look at, NOAA's, 14-day outlook, their 1 month outlook. And as those, come out, every, evening or whatever, those you can pretty point to and say, oh, well, this map shifted a lot colder. And then, the next day, natural gas prices jumped up. You don't see that as much with like overseas markets. That's, there's a lot more scheduling, to get a boat filled up and sent across the ocean that, it's just not as sensitive to those factors.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, Mr. Burns, thank you very much. Okay. Public input. Anybody here who would like to address city council? Now's the time to do it. Nope, okay. Committees and commission. Beautification is Ms. Lingo, who's not here. Economic Development, Mr. Paul Young.
No report tonight. I think city manager has most everything in his report, so I'll defer to him.
Okay. Finance, Mr. Parsons.
Yes, the Finance Committee met on November 6th to go over the first draft of the budget. Had a lot of questions and a lot of changes, so we have a new draft. I think it's still going to change a little bit, but I would like to call a committee meeting for next Tuesday, November 25th at 4:30 to go over our final budget, being in the city manager's office.
At what time?
Tuesday at 4:30.
4:30. Okay, thanks.
Library, Ms. Dosa.
Thank you. Sorry. It has been brought to our attention that there's been a fluctuation of issues with the library recently and probably previous to that, and the city and the library are working together collaboratively to get them resolved. The library manager, Raya, has asked to meet with me and council to discuss safety concerns and their impact, not only on the library, but the city of Mount Healthy. So we are planning to meet with her coming up here in the next week, and I'm hopeful that this meeting will help us to discuss a collaborative solution plan, which could hopefully include some policy changes for the library and maybe some increased security detail. We'll see how that goes, and I can report more about that later. And just as I always state, take a look at the library's programs that they have weekly. They're all available for all ages, and they have a listing of those online. Parks.
Yeah, go right on.
Thank you. The 2026 concert series has been finalized. I'll be asking for council support by circulating a sign-up sheet here in the new year to solicit volunteers from council to assist with the concerts. So please take a look at that and see where you can sign up and help out with that. I am very pleased to announce that the annual Christmas in Mount Healthy event will take place Saturday, December 13th, from 4 to 8 p.m. The event features a variety of vendors and activities scheduled throughout the city. We have a skating rink that's going to be in the park and a lot of other things. So please, we're encouraging all residents and visitors to check back regularly on the city's main webpage and social media channels that we have for, including Facebook, for the latest updates and a detailed schedule of events as the date approaches. There is a flyer that's circulating, but we'll update that as things that need to be updated will be put on there, but we're excited for that. In anticipation of that, the Christmas lights are going to be up in the park. Scott, you said November 29th? Mm-hmm. So that'll be nice to have all the lights and things for the park in, prior to the Christmas at Mount Healthy event. We have talked about at the park meeting prior to this that maybe next year when we light up the park to maybe have a ceremony for that in the park prior to that to kind of set the mood and the precedent for the upcoming Christmas in Mount Healthy that will be following that. We are in the process also for planning an event in February for the park, so there'll be more details once that's finalized. We're looking at the weekend of the 14th, so I'll have more details about that later with to share with you. Part park equipment, we did not get the ODNR grant. And Scott is reaching out to the ODNR to see if they can provide us more details on our grant proposal and things we can do better, or some suggestions. We intend on applying for the next grant, which is due for July in 2026 for the grant application submission. So we're just going to try again. Some other things about the park that we discussed was updating the signage in the park, especially the park sign at the corner of Hill and Joseph. There's some other signs in there that need some touching up, and so we would like to get those touched up in the future. Hopefully, part of that was hoping to be done with the grant, but those are things that we need to get done probably before the summer. So we'll talk to Scott and Justin about that. Another thing we talked about was possibly during a mural for the fence that is in the park, maybe potentially have a contest to see who can come up with some good designs or mural ideas or some decorations for that. And then we talked to Scott more about that in terms of, if there's any rules about whether or not we could do that, or that fencing, or if there's anything that we can't do. Or we talked about for the summer concert, having more dessert trucks instead of food trucks, and just different things that we can do to make it a more enjoyable concert for the people that are coming for the upcoming series. And just more information on the city page in terms of events and things that are going on, just to keep the public and the residents of Mount Healthy constantly updated and have it an easier resource to them to click on the page and have a tab or something like that, and just know that all the events that are coming will be posted there. So that is all I have.
Thank you very much. Questions for Ms. Dosa? Okay, safety, Mr. Redding.
Yeah, Keisha touched on it earlier. There was another fight last Friday at the Mount Healthy Library. So we met with the library staff and the school principal, the high school principal. And and I think Jenny reported out on this at last council meeting. But just wanted to let everybody know that we're still working on it. So hopefully planning a meeting for next week. And we'll inform you as we find out more information. Secondly, don't forget the police report that was in our packet. And I guess the only thing I'd like to ask from the chief, if he could, is if he could include one more piece of information. I'm really interested in how many guns the PD is getting off the streets every year. If I could get a monthly ticker on that or something like that, if that's possible.
Yeah.
Is that it?
And that is all I have, sir.
Questions for Mr. Redding? Okay, then we'll move on. Schools, Mr. George.
No report tonight.
Okay, streets, Ms. Rissel. No report. Okay, then we move on to the mayor's report, Ms. Jenny Moody.
Yes, I'd first like to congratulate the newly elected council people that will be starting in January, and Sarah Danks, who had competition in the vote, and she will be the new president of council, so I'd like to congratulate everyone. I'd like to also talk a little bit about some of the things happening that some meetings I attended. There is a committee group right now formulated. Spearheading this is Morgan Whaley from the Emmanuel Apostolic Church. They're looking at grant opportunities for youth, whether it be a youth center or whether different placements in the community for the youth to be a part of some positive interaction and activities. The grant is a pretty large grant, and so this committee in the community has been working on it. I've attended a couple of the meetings, and I'm very excited for the people in the community that are really working hard to see what we can provide in the future here in the city and for youth not only in the city but in the surrounding community. Also, would like to tell you that Trinity Church is working with, in collaboration with South Elementary, they have a committee that is formulating a run club. that they hope to start in the spring. There are a number of marathon and just runners at this church, and they would like to use their expertise and their enthusiasm for running and walking to form a club. I think they've already been in contact with somebody from the school system. We do have somebody from the school system here tonight. Would you like to introduce yourself? And
Sure. My name's Shayna Bird. I actually know several of you up there. I know Miss Dosa, parent, Cordell George, was a student in the district many years ago. I'm the Director of Human Resources and Operations.
Thank
so
you.
we've been excited about collaborating with the school district, and I do know that the committee formulating for this running club is very excited, and they've found some good opportunities working with South Elementary. So there'll be more to come in the spring. They're also looking for money for gym shoes and other equipment for the running club. I'd like to acknowledge the Tree Commission planted trees on Perry Street. It looked really nice. They had some nice photos on social media of the number of people that came out to help plant the trees, and I think it's a pretty exciting time knowing that we got another grant, and so I just want to acknowledge the work that they've been doing. I went to a couple meetings with Scott. On November 7th, we went to a REDI, R-E-D-I. I'm not sure exactly what the acronym is all about, but they had a partners breakfast, and they work very closely with Jobs Ohio. They recognized some communities that they were able to partner with. I kind of been in touch with some information on Jobs Ohio in the last year or so, and I was always under the impression that it was opportunities for a large amount of jobs in an area for a company, but they also like to partner for opportunity of small business jobs. Going there, when you're going to one of those breakfasts or meetings, you really do network. And one of the people that came up, Duke had sponsored this, and so Mr. Schaefer is going to be working with us. There's Grant, and Joe, if you want to be involved in this too, grant opportunities that he wants to tell us about starting in January that we could maybe tap into with Duke Energy. Also went to Hamilton County, had a shared services summit. What was nice about Scott and I going is the fact that when you do breakout sessions, and we can spread ourselves out a little bit. And when you're with small cities and villages, you find out, and even with larger ones, that we have some comparable issues that we talk about. It was interesting that the county was kind of selling the services they have, which was nice, but knowing that what we provide to our residents and what comes out of our budget and what our residents expect for services, and when you look toward maybe going with a county service, you lose revenue, you lose control, and I'm not saying that those county services aren't something that they're not good and that there's something we shouldn't look at, but knowing that how we balance our revenue with our expenses and how important it is for us to have our own police department, knowing that we have a great relationship with the Hamilton County Police Department. But when I was there, they talked about a lot of services that the county can provide. When you go with those services, you lose all your revenue from those services, and you depend solely on the county. So it was nice to be able to network. Also to find out how other communities are addressing some of the needs in their budget and how they're able to serve their taxpayers and their residents. So some of the different opportunities we had, there was an economic and housing section that we went to, strengthening your public services, and a physical development services. And Scott went to one, I went to another, and then as you talk to people, you kind of share information and share maybe what grant opportunities have been out there that we haven't really applied for, and then you talk from people from the county, and they tell you some opportunities and some ways of addressing some of the needs we have. So it's really good for us to be out there to network, and I appreciate the fact that I'm able to do that with our city manager. I'd like to also, just to inform you, Ms. Dosa and Parks Committee, there is a grant out there. I believe I can find that out through We Thrive, but it's park planning. So it isn't exactly, getting the equipment, but what's kind of nice about getting planning grants is when you have a planning grant and you're able to plan for what you need, it sometimes gives you better opportunities for implementation and getting money for that. So I'm gonna look into that. I think it's up to 30,000, but I'll check on that again. Let's see, I think that's it. I do know that Ethos Art Collective is starting their next art showing this Friday, November 21st. It'll go into December. Again, if you have an opportunity to go up there to that art collective, that gallery, TJ Smith runs it. It's extremely high-end artwork, and we're just very blessed to have them here in town. And the last thing, I just want to say this because I just want to be able to say it, that that Trinity Choir is going to be at Carnegie Hall on December 1st. I will not be here on December 2nd. We'll be flying back. There was a press release released today, so I'm hoping that the TV stations will pick it up a little bit. I mean, it's kind of nice. It would give us some good publicity here in Mount Healthy that there's 15 of us that will be going. There'll be 200 people singing in this choir at Carnegie Hall. It is a cantata. Mary McDonald, who's known for her sacred music. This is what she calls it, a world opening of her cantata. But there is a choir coming from South Africa, so it's all over the world. And we will be performing that December 7th. We've been practicing for 2 months, and I think we're about ready, and we're excited. And so hopefully maybe we'll get some publicity out of this, but I'll be coming back from New York on December 2nd, so I won't be here at council meeting. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Mayor. Questions? Okay, then we'll move on to the city manager's report. Mr. Bauer.
Yeah, I did email my report. It was this afternoon, so a little late, but you can kind of check out what I'm looking at here. It did include an updated schedule for the Werner project. The original one, I think it was maybe December that stated it was going to be completed, but the updated revised schedule is August. So by August 7th, they anticipate being completely done with the Werner Madison project, so that's exciting. I did have a meeting with the port yesterday. They talked to me about a couple of our empty lots we have in town, building 3 houses in town. It will require a partnership with Mount Healthy, the city, and potentially maybe CIC and Third Century, but looking to build some single-family homes in the area. So I'll kind of, once I have a little bit more detail on it and what commitments they're expecting from us, but kind of exciting they've identified us. They've done work in, was it Lincoln Heights? Where all did we go?
Kennedy Heights.
Kennedy
Yes,
Heights.
Kennedy Heights. Walnut Hills.
Walnut Hills. Number of really nice houses that they're building, but I'll have more on that to come. I also met with Alloy. Mayor mentioned Duke giving out grants. Apparently they selected our community for a small business coaching grant. So they contract with Alloy, which is the economic development arm of the county. And any small business in town is now available to just set up a meeting with Alloy, and they'll give them coaching advice, financial statement advice, succession planning, refinancing, debt, all that kind of stuff. So it's good for a year. We're trying to look for ways to advertise it more. They're going to give us some flyers, but I just met with them last week, so that was a grant through Duke Energy. So excited to work through that and offer that to our community here. Few other items. Maple Avenue, we've cleared the area for the fence to be put up at the end of Maple Avenue. It's about a 3-week order time for the fencing. They've put in the order, so it could potentially get installed in December. Let's see, the current facade improvement program, the awnings have been ordered. Installation is expected in mid-December. Antique Mall. So I heard from the port, they did approve the extra funds to be included in the grant. So it was about $45,000. Definitely excited for that. They have a number of projects that came in under budget, so that just kind of goes back into the pot, and they have the ability to reallocate it to us. So really excited for that. I met just this morning with the contractor that's been selected to construct the wall, the demo company, and the engineers. We all met on site to make sure we're all on the same page. I think they might have actually started today kind of demoing some. They've got to do some handwork to pull some of the stuff down before they build the wall, but they thought it could take maybe 3 to 4 weeks to build up the wall, and the demo company thought maybe they could still fit it in December, so we'll see what happens. But everyone's been selected, everything's lined up.
You heard it too much, right, Bob?
I know, by the end of the year, I know, I've said that way too many
Which year?
times now, yeah.
Yeah.
So very excited for that. It seems like everybody's on the same page, and, yeah, gonna get working on that soon here. Let's see, I feel like I had just maybe one or two other items here. We mentioned getting the Nature Works grant, or not getting the Nature Works, but getting the Urban Forestry grant. I mentioned the port. I think that's actually all that I have. Yeah, that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Questions for Mr. Bauer? Okay, then we're going to move on to the police chief, Mr. Deidesheimer.
Let's see, I'll start off with the good news. We received the COPS grant for 2 officers. With Corey C. leaving, we now have positions open for 3 officers. We've been interviewing several, some certified, some not. If we choose to hire a non-certified, we'd send them to Ohio State Highway Patrol Academy, which is fully funded through the state of Ohio, which we don't have to pay, so some good training there. We did establish a fee schedule for body cam video requests, and that legislation was passed last year, and we decided to go ahead. We were going to do it countywide and try to make sure everybody's on the same page, but that didn't come, so we just decided to go ahead and do our own thing. This has reduced the number of requests for body cam, and the ones that we are filling requests, we are recouping the cost, because with the editing and redacting of body cam footage, it is very, very time consuming. We've completed all our CPT hours for 2025. We get reimbursement for that. So each officer is required to do up to 24 hours of continuing professional training. And once we submit all that, we actually get reimbursement for each officer's 24 hours we submit. So it's a pretty good reimbursement from the state of Ohio as well. So we're recouping that money. We talked about the library issues, and I think, yeah, more to come on that. Good news is on the traffic side, citations seem to be about the same as 2024, which we had a significant increase in citations from 2023. Good news is traffic crashes look like to be trending down about 10% for 2025 over 2024. Calls for service are continue to go up. Not necessarily a bad thing. I think we're getting more quality of life calls. People asking for assistance, people asking questions. So just because calls for service go up doesn't not necessarily mean it's a bad thing. So all in all, it's been a really good year. Our officers I think are doing a really good job.
Thank you, Chief.
Sure.
Questions for the chief?
I got a couple questions. You have 3 spots open now, full-time? And did you say you've got one in the works?
We interviewed, over the last week and a half, we've probably interviewed 8 or 9 people.
Okay, so you're not anticipating any trouble filling the 3?
You never know. I got to make sure, and I've said this before, it has to be a good fit. I'd rather do without than hire somebody that is not somebody that's going to work out for us.
But even over the long run, 3 or 4 or 5 months, you think you'll be able to find 3 candidates?
I would hope so. Hiring police officers is a challenge for every department. I think we got a pretty good reputation, and I think we have a good pool. We've had some success with the interviews, and we've done conditional offers, which allows us to go to the background to make sure we're getting quality people. So I would hope to get, by the end of the year, maybe at least 1, if not 2 offers out there, and see if we can get the spots filled.
Okay. One other question. We got your list of patrol cars and their ages and mileage.
Yes.
I noticed that you have 6 full-time patrol cars. 5 of them are Ford Explorers and one's a Chevy Tahoe.
Yes, sir.
Chevy Tahoe only has 7,000 miles on it.
Right.
Do people not like to drive it as much, or is just?
That's a supervisor vehicle. That's for our sergeant. Now that we put Ben on as a sergeant, it'll probably get more miles on that.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's within a year. Right now we have 2 officers. Other vehicles have 3 officers in them running. I don't like a vehicle running 24 hours a day. It needs a break in making sure we don't go heavy miles on certain vehicles. The ones that I don't mind going heavy on are the ones that are getting towards the end of their life on, and that way you can kind of, if this one's going out, let's save the miles. Let's put the miles there on our new vehicle instead of our new vehicles.
We got the
Out
Tahoe
of the
in
6
January.
cars, you've got one that has 90,000 miles. I assume
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
going to sit there in reserve, and the others have under 50,000, so they should be pretty much rotated.
Car two ran a lot, and thus it's the one that has the most maintenance. If we were to cycle out a vehicle, that would obviously be the first one. It's a well-maintained vehicle, but, you know, police cars, the way they're built and everything like that, and you get up to 90-something thousand miles, you're gonna have to put some money into them.
Okay. Thank you.
I was just gonna add, the Tahoe is the one, did we get it in January, I think? I mean, that is
Yeah,
the newest vehicle too,
Yeah,
so
it's
it's,
even though it's a 2024, we actually got it in probably, by the time it was outfitted and ready to go, it was probably closer to June,
okay.
May, June of 2025.
Of 25.
We had,
Oh.
yeah, because we bought it in January, then you have to go and it has to get completely outfitted with the cage and all the electronics and
Yeah.
stuff. So that's
Okay.
why, yeah.
So it's only been in service for 6 months, or 5 or
Correct.
6
Yes, sir.
months? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Redding?
Yeah, so I noticed we went with a Tahoe on, just to finish the truck. Was any specific reason, and how's it running?
The Fords were getting away from doing the police packages. So now since Ford's getting away, your pretty much options are gonna be the Chevy Tahoe, which still does the police package, or going into the Dodge. Based on our research and what we've talked with other agencies, Chevy seems to be the more reliable vehicle. Even though it may cost more, it's gonna save you money in the long run.
Okay.
So it seems to be, that's the way most places are going. Not that I have anything against Dodge or anything like that, but just based on the recommendation from state bids and all that stuff, it just seems like the way to go.
Okay. And then on the candidates that you've gone through,
Yeah.
are most of those candidates existing, or are they current police officers now from other departments, or are they
Out of the
new?
nine, we have probably 3 that are certified.
Okay,
3 or 4 that are certified.
okay. And those candidates have some road experience already, or?
They do.
Okay,
They do. How can I say this? But, you want to make sure we hire the right person and you
Sure.
inherit somebody else. Why are they coming here? Do they want to come here, or are they running away from something?
yes.
So
They
we make
run-
sure with our guys, we make sure we do our due diligence as far as before making any of that decisions, and obviously discuss it over with Mr. Bauer.
Okay.
And making sure we get the right person.
Yes, and I agree. I
Yeah.
prefer them to be running to us and not from something else.
Agreed.
Yes,
Agreed. Yes, sir.
yep. Thank you.
And with public records now, you can do full requests for public records from any police department, and there's a lot of information that's easily obtained to making sure we're making the right decision.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions for the chief? Well, Chief Jerry, thank you very much for coming up and
Yes, sir.
talking with us. Okay, we're going to move on to ordinances. We have a second reading on an ordinance and a first reading on an ordinance. We will do the first ordinance, the one with the second reading first. Ordinance number 25-2063. An ordinance authorizing the city manager to take all actions necessary and execute an agreement between the city of Mount Healthy and Rumpke for collection, transportation, and delivery of disposal or processing of solid waste recyclable materials generated in and collected from residential units equivalents, municipal facilities, and during special events. We had the first reading on this ordinance last meeting. Questions, council? If there are no questions, I'd like to ask for a motion to adopt.
I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 25-2063.
Second that.
Okay, we have ordinance 2063. Mr. Parsons has made a motion, Mr. Redding has seconded. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Lingo, Mr. Parsons.
Aye.
Mr. Redding.
Aye.
Mrs. Dosa.
Aye.
Mr. George. Mr. Young.
Aye.
Ms. Rissel.
Okay, by a vote of 6-0, ordinance number 25-2063 is adopted. Now we have a first reading on an ordinance. It is 25-2064, an ordinance authorizing An emergency ordinance authorizing all actions necessary to support and continuation for the government natural gas aggregation program with opt-out provisions pursuant to Section 4929-26 Ohio Revised Code, directing the city manager to enter into a supply agreement with Direct Energy Services, LLC, to continue a natural gas aggregation program beyond March 31st, 2026, when the current supply agreement ends.
So passing this, we would be accepting the supplier of Direct Energy, and then we would want to select the term.
I'm sorry,
The
supplier and what?
and the term.
And the term,
And then that's where Eric mentioned I would work with him, and we have until probably a month to 2 months to truly trigger the rate that we would want. So it's sort of really, it seemed like Direct Energy was the number one choice. They were the cheapest, so it's kind of just coming down to what term we would want, and if we were ready tonight to pass it.
Well, this doesn't specify a term. It
Correct.
specifies Direct Energy. I think we would want to look at the 24 and the 36-month terms, compare them before every day or once a week or whenever you're doing it, and take one or the other. I mean, I don't
So if
know that we can say we want 24 months or we want 36 months.
So if we wanted to get this done by the 2nd, were you wanting maybe, we could get 2 rates between then? Is that what you mean? Like maybe Friday get a rate and the 28th get a rate? Updated rates to see which?
Pass this tonight if we
Oh,
can.
oh, okay, I got you. Okay.
But, so we can look next week or tomorrow, you know.
Can we
start
do it
looking at
that
the
way where
rates right
we,
away.
if we've,
So, as written, it's authorizing to accept an agreement. It says silent on the term, so we could, go back tomorrow, in the next couple of days and look at what the 24 and the 36 are producing before you execute an agreement.
Yeah.
But you would need to execute one of those agreements before you could set a final phase rate.
so if we wanted to select direct, we could then kind of wait on the term. And, I mean, I'm happy to work with whoever's interested in following this, and then
Yeah, I
once we
remember
reach an
last
agreement-
time, we bugged you every day for like a week or two. What's the rate, what's the rate, what's the rate? And then we took one. So we might be doing that again. But I think we should agree that 2 years or 3 years, whichever's best, whichever we think is the best.
Sure.
So that's up to the council. And then you would need some advice from council of whether to take a rate or not, lock one in or not.
yes.
Council, how the rest of you feel?
There are a lot of heads shaking.
Yeah.
Crickets.
I'm in agreement.
We have,
I'm in agreement.
What?
Agreement for what exactly?
In passing the
You're
ordinance.
gonna wait? Did we do a first reading on this?
no.
No, you gotta pass it.
Yep.
I think we need to agree whether it's 2 years or 3 years.
No, I don't think we'll know that. I think we just need
I think we need to
council's
pass.
approval to take either 2 or 3, whichever is best, whichever we
That's
think is
fine.
best.
I'm-
I thought we were just passing it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not talking about the rate, I'm talking about the
period.
The period, yes.
Well, the period's gonna depend on the rate. I mean, like I said, right
Yes.
now, I would go with the 3-year,
So would I.
but
And I
they
think that's
recommended
probably-
2.
But we won't know the rate,
So,
right?
we need to say, okay, you can go with 2 or 3, whichever appears to be the best at the time we lock in. Are you agreeing, or?
I'm agreeing. No, I'm agreeing because I think
It
the
would
likelihood
be-
of it going
they're,
down
basically
significantly,
5.82
that
or
third year is
5.80, so
minimal.
That's kind of, I mean, there's
And
gonna
I
be
think
it's gonna be
we-
basically the same, but. it's
Anybody
gonna be
who's in the aggregation then,
Yeah, how long do you want?
you know what your costs are for the next 3 years. I mean, your usage is gonna change, but your cost per MCF or CCF is going to be consistent.
Do you have a comment?
Cleared it up. We're good.
are most of our, I guess they're not our competitors, our peers, are they going with the 24-month, you know, the,
Yes, so, neighboring communities area, Hamilton Township, Green Hills, Loveland have all been leaning in favor of a 24-month term. They're all on the same timeline, have the same rate as you currently. That's the way they've been leaning, but you are free to make your, own decision. There's no formal relationship between you. Does that make sense?
I'm not saying that we wouldn't go with 2 years. Sure. I'm just saying we want to look at both rates and
Yeah.
and have the ability to go to 3 if we want.
Sure.
Well, how can we do that tonight? We don't know what the rates are.
We have to pass this, so he's got the authority to lock it in.
Questions, council? Does everybody understand what we're talking about? Okay.
Make a motion to suspend the 2 reading rule.
Second.
Mr. Young has made a motion to suspend the 2 reading rule. Mr. Redding has seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Lingo, Mr. Parsons.
Aye.
Mr. Redding,
Aye.
Mrs. Dosa,
Aye.
Mr. George.
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Ms. Rissel.
Okay, by a vote of 6-0, the 2 reading rule is suspended.
Now we need a motion to adopt.
Yes, if there's no questions.
Just to clarify, this just gives them the right to go into negotiations at this point.
Gives him the right to lock in a price.
And lock in a price, yes.
Right. Understood.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance number 25-2064.
I'll second that.
Okay, Mr. Young has made a motion to adopt. Mr. Parsons has seconded. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Lingo, Mr. Parsons.
Aye.
Mr. Redding,
Aye.
Mrs. Dosa,
Aye.
Mr. George.
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Ms. Rissel.
Okay, by a vote of 6-0, ordinance number 25-2064 is adopted. We have no first readings on a resolution, so we go to old business.
Oh, I do have one question for the chief that I forgot to ask earlier. Did we get did we find out who was involved in the shooting at Clover Nook Apartments a few months ago?
We don't have charges. We know who, we don't have enough to charge right now.
Okay, all right.
The
Thank
problem
you.
is the victims are not cooperative.
Okay,
Yeah. I mean, we know who it is, and if we had the victims cooperative, we'd have charges.
okay.
It's kind of hard to.
No, I appreciate,
Yeah,
I appreciate
yeah.
your candor. It's disappointing,
Yeah, it is. It is.
especially when you're considering the number of rounds that were,
Agreed.
yep.
Any other old business, council? New business? Adjournment. Who wishes to do that? I know Denise isn't here. Ms. Rissell's made a motion to adjourn. Mr. George has seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion is carried. Meeting is adjourned.